I'm Andy Tempty, and welcome to the Saturday Morning Muse. Start your weekend with me by exploring topics that span leadership, business management, education, and other musings that are designed to support your journey of personal and professional continuous improvement. My wife Linda and I live on a little slice of paradise in western Wisconsin overlooking the Mississippi River. We have the privilege to wake each morning to an idyllic scene of the bluffs and coulees that line this majestic body of water. Most of our 40-acre plot is taken up by steep descents filled with deciduous trees and a few evergreens. The rest is rolling meadow brimming with myriad wildflowers we've nurtured to provide a natural habitat for the birds and the butterflies. It turns out that large areas of wildflowers are difficult to maintain over time. If left unattended, grasses and non-native species take over and choke out the yellows, blues, whites, and purples that the wildflowers have to offer. We've been planting new perennials in small patches using hand tools to ensure that the wildflowers kept the upper hand, but it wasn't enough. The tall grass was winning the battle. I had been looking for an implement that I could use in conjunction with my John Deere 1025R subcompact tractor to recondition larger swaths of soil and reintroduce more wildflowers more efficiently. Surely a large format technical solution would do the trick. So, after the ground thawed last spring, I connected my brand new 13-tine chisel plow to the back of my small but mighty tractor and started ripping at the grassy patches. After exposing the soil, I spread wildflower seed in every direction with the hope that a new generation of wildflowers would soon take hold. Fast forward to that summer. The disturbed locations were now a sea of green hues. Surely we would have an explosion of new color soon. I went out to inspect nature's progress with great excitement to find that amidst the shoots of new wildflowers lurked many, many ragweed seedlings. If you read my first book, Balancing Act, you know that I'm terribly allergic to this nasty prolific plant's pollen. The last thing I needed is to be living amongst a sea of ragweed. Now, for the curious, ragweed rhizomes, they lie in wait in many soil types in the Midwestern United States for the chance to dominate the landscape, pollinate, and ensure its survival. It is the quintessential opportunist. My failure last spring was to deploy a broad, sweeping technical solution to solve a problem without thinking through the ramifications of its use. I should have known that disturbing such a large area of land without a plan to nurture the seeds that I wanted to take hold would open the door to the subversion of my efforts by my arch nemesis, ragweed. So, what's the lesson for business? The vast majority of businesses begin their lives as small enterprises. When things are small, it's relatively straightforward to be intentional about the culture that you want to foster. Hiring your first few employees is done with intention and a keen eye toward organizational fit. However, as the company grows, the crush of demands from customers, regulators, vendors, and partners creates a whirlwind of activity. For the fortunate few, the heady days of rapid growth and scale create an environment where everyone is working at full throttle. In this hectic habitat, keeping that same keen eye on culture becomes more and more difficult. Growth and profitability, they mask operational inefficiencies and burgeoning cultural challenges. During these intoxicating days of growth, it's easy to overlook a process that's suboptimal or give the genius jerk that's now on your team, give them a pass. Yes, that genius jerk may be a pain in the ass on an interpersonal level, but we tell ourselves all manner of stories to justify why we can't or shouldn't part ways. As time passes, the business matures, growth slows, and entropy sets in. Recall that entropy is the natural process of everything falling apart over time. Leaders and team members pull their heads up and they take a look around at the state of their business. The common refrain goes something like this: "Wow, how did our culture deviate so far from our original intention? We need to get back to growth mode, but we also need a culture that will facilitate future growth, not impede it." In 2024, technical solutions designed with the intent to influence corporate culture and organizational health, they're everywhere. AI-enabled coaching, talent intelligence, employee engagement, and recognition and appreciation platforms are abundant, and the average HR tech stack is filled with offerings that purport to be the secret sauce that you need to get your culture back on track. Their websites are alluring and filled with persuasive messages that the solution to your cultural challenges, they're just a click away. Just as I convinced myself that a large format technical tool would solve the challenge of entropy in our acres of wildflowers, it's easy for leaders to fall into the trap of believing that a technical solution will solve all manner of challenges within their organizational culture. So, what's the point? In our wildflower project, I thought I'd be able to rip up the soil with my fancy new tool, spread some new seed, and then leave the rest to the forces of nature. I hopped off my tractor, disconnected the chisel plow, and thought to myself, done and dusted. Wrong. To get the kind of results I was looking for, there was still a lot of maintenance I should have done to ensure that the soil was healthy enough to allow the new seeds to flourish and leave those nasty little ragweed rhizomes that lurk beneath the surface with very little room and resources to take over. In a business setting, sexy, talent intelligence and employee engagement software tools must be deployed with caution. Like my big chisel plow, they are only part of the solution. Even though it's 2024, there is absolutely no replacement for the hard but rewarding work of defining organizational purpose and vision, codifying cultural norms, setting and cascading effective master goals, and ensuring that managers up, down, and across the organization are all doing their jobs as leaders. It's this last piece that's absolutely critical. The clarity you create is only as good as the managers who are charged with nurturing their plot of land in your business. If your managers are firefighters, glorified individual contributors, or are not versed in the art and science of continuous improvement and organizational health, then all the fancy talent intelligence tools in the world will not move the needle. Here, noxious weeds will continue to choke out efforts to build the culture of trust and accountability that's necessary to get your company back on the path to growth and sustainability. In our wildflower patch, the culprit is ragweed. In your business, the noxious weeds are fixed mindsets, rumors, genius jerks, and the actively disengaged. Even with cool new technologies, the human element, great managerial talent, is an essential ingredient to support the lifelong learning, mental agility, active listening, curiosity, and creating an environment of psychological safety that's necessary for the long-term health of your business. Have a great weekend as you recharge for the week ahead.